Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, SU women's volleyball qualified for its first ever NCAA tournament on Sunday. Find out what this means for the team and how well the ladies will play come tournament time.
And the Department of Public Safety has taken 3 individuals into custody for suspicion of attempted robbery on Slocum Drive.
And 500 migrants from the caravan are to be deported by the Mexican government. Find out why they're being sent away from the border. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
Now, Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts with breaking news.
The Department of Public Safety says that 3 suspects are in custody on charges of an attempted robbery on Slocum Drive. Good evening, I'm Chris Venzon.
And I'm Shama. None of the suspects are affiliated with the university in any way. No injuries have been reported and no property was stolen. A 4th suspect also fled the scene on foot. The other 3 suspects were detained before being transferred to the custody of the Syracuse Police Department. The Syracuse women's volleyball team wrapped up their regular season on Saturday with a 3-1 win over Wake Forest, but the biggest news of the weekend came this Sunday. Jonah Karp has more. Jonah?
Well, Elijah, with the recent success of the football team, there's been a real debate whether Syracuse is a football school or not. Well, that's ridiculous. Anyone who follows SU sports knows that Syracuse is a volleyball school. All right, maybe not quite, but maybe volleyball deserves to be a part of the conversation. After all, the Orange are headed to their first NCAA tournament in program history. It was announced yesterday, and Citrus TV's Justin Port was at the watch party, ready with the camera. Check this out.
For the seniors now, we were here when we were so upset that we didn't make it the first time. So we kind of held on to that. And from the next few years, we held on to it and was just like, all right, we're working for a goal, we're working for something. And now it's our last year, so we're just like, we have to give it our all.
Man, how cool is that? Syracuse is one of 5 ACC schools in the Big Dance. Duke, Florida State, Louisville, and Pittsburgh are the others. The Orange finished 14-4 in conference play this year. That matches the 2015 squad for the most conference wins in a season. Obviously, a season like that doesn't happen without some star power. Well, it was announced today that Polina Shamanova is the ACC Freshman of the Year. Both she and Santita Abangwase earned all ACC first team honors. SU heads to Penn State for the first round of the tournament. First, Syracuse needs to get past Yale, which history tells us is a favorable matchup for the Orange. Syracuse is actually 3-0 against the Bulldogs all time. So it's Syracuse and it's Yale. First round of the NCAA tournament this Friday, November 30th at 5 p.m. Guys?
Jonah, very exciting stuff. Thank you. An American painter is coming to campus to display his 200-piece portrait series. Robert Shetterly will visit SU for a discussion featuring 2 of the subjects of his portraits. The pieces are called Americans Who Tell the Truth, and they feature important figures like Martin Luther King and Mark Twain. The exhibition opens Thursday and continues through December 14th. Moving on, tickets for the 2019 New York State Fair are on sale today for Cyber Monday. Prices dropped at 6 in the morning to $3, half off the normal advance sales price. The sale is exclusively online. Tickets are non-refundable as well. But if you don't get your discounted tickets today, there will be plenty of other opportunities. The fair's website details all the day this year when admission tickets are on sale. And Elijah, I don't know about you, but I came back to Syracuse last night and I was expecting that beautiful, perfect, rainy, dreary weather, and Syracuse did not disappoint, my friend.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. I was making my way back from New York City, and just seeing the skies, it was just soulless and gray. Really, it crushed me a little. But Riley is here. Riley is here to tell us if it's going to stay that way or if it's going to get worse. Riley?
Now,
doesn't look great so far.
Unfortunately, guys, it is. Right now, I'm outside Watson Hall, where it's about 40 degrees outside, and it is cold, and it is wet, and it is raining. Now, if you take a look at the streets behind me, you can see they're covered with rain right now. But as we move into tonight, they're going to become covered with snow. Gosh darn, but that's okay. This is going to be the first signs of a snowstorm that's going to hit Syracuse. If you take a look at your screens, you can see moving into tonight, that snow is just going to come over and plow through Syracuse. Now, the storm will last through Thursday, and if you're like me, you're excited. Mother Nature's sending some snow to get us all into that Christmas season, or maybe you're not as happy because you're wondering how much snow you're going to have to plow over the course of this next week. Well, either way, I'm going to have the answer as far as how much snow accumulation to expect and how to prepare coming up in my full weather forecast. Back to you guys.
Riley, I got to tell you, I'm not excited. Dairy prices have hit a 10-year low. China has stopped buying American soybeans, and the Trump administration's tariffs and excessive farming supplies have led many farms across America to go out of business. Here to break down the farming crisis is Citrus TV correspondent Anthony Dabbundo.
The Minnesota Star Tribune reported that over 80 farms filed for bankruptcy across the upper Midwest in the last 12 months. That's more than double the number that closed in 2013 and 2014. But states like Minnesota and Wisconsin aren't the only ones feeling the effects of record low dairy and soybean prices. Right here in central New York, farms are losing money. According to Sam Simon of Hudson Valley Dairy, it currently costs about 21 cents to produce a pound of milk. Now, prices range between 15 and 17 cents to sell it. That means that farms are losing about 5 cents a pound. Now, small farms produce about 1 million pounds of milk each year, and larger ones produce 10 times as much. Now, some larger farms have been able to survive on equity and borrowing from banks, but many small farms haven't. Simon said, quote, "It's Armageddon for farmers. The supply is too high and the demand is too low. In the last 10 years, the consumption of fluid milk is down 10%. That's the crisis in a nutshell," he said. The farmers in this country are starving. Now, one of the main reasons for the decrease in consumption has been the rise of alternative milks, like soy and almond, that don't actually have any dairy in them. Now, while dairy prices are at 10-year lows, corn and soybean prices also contribute to the closures. China consumes 50% of American soybeans. The Trump administration recently imposed tariffs on exports to China, and the Chinese responded by stopping its imports of soybeans. Now, much like the dairy market, the soybean market has a surplus of supply, and farmers can't sell enough of it to even break even. Now, farmers have become too efficient at producing supply, and demand hasn't kept up. And as far as solutions, Simon says that supply management of farmers is crucial, but it's unclear if the government has any plans to step in and aid. Back to you guys.
And a 5-year-old boy is dead after his father accidentally hit him with a car on Thanksgiving Day. The father, Patrick Walsh, was backing out of his driveway when he struck his son. The family lives in Hamburg, New York, just outside of Buffalo. The child, James Walsh, was a kindergartner at Union Pleasant Elementary School. Authorities described the incident as a tragic accident.
Coming up next, the trial process begins for a white supremacist who injured dozens at a rally last year in Charlottesville. What do the charges mean for the defendant?
And after a Russian attack on 3 Ukrainian ships, Ukraine is responding. We'll talk about what that means for Ukraine's government and the citizens in eastern Ukraine. Stay with us.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Mexico is set to deport 500 migrants that marched towards the U.S. border on Sunday. U.S. Customs also say that police arrested several people entering the U.S. illegally. Police attacked migrants approaching the U.S. with tear gas.
And President Trump tweeted Monday that, quote, "We will close the border permanently if need be," unquote. The march towards the border was an effort to lobby for the U.S. to speed up processing of asylum requests.
The man who allegedly killed a woman during the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia last year faces jury selection today. James Fields Jr. is accused of driving his car into a crowd of people protesting the Unite the Right rally. He is charged with the killing of 32-year-old Heather Heyer and injuring dozens more.
The suspect was photographed marching with the neo-Nazi group during the rally. Fields faces life in prison in Virginia. He also faces federal hate crime charges that could bring on the death penalty. A former Trump campaign advisor is starting his 14-day prison sentence. George Papadopoulos was convicted of lying to federal investigators in the Russia probe.
Papadopoulos asked a federal judge twice in the last 10 days to pause the sentence. The judge denied both requests yesterday. Papadopoulos will serve his sentence at a correctional camp in Wisconsin. He's also required to pay a fine, serve a year of probation, and do 200 hours of community service. General Motors is cutting back on facilities and staff. It plans on cutting 15% of its salaried staff. That's more than 14,000 jobs. Leaders are also shutting down 5 factories in North America and cutting the number of executives.
The cuts come as the company attempts to improve business performance and investments. The CEO says they are taking this action to keep ahead of changing market conditions. General Motors hopes to save $6 billion annually by 2020. Elsewhere, tensions between Russia and Ukraine are continuing to elevate. It started yesterday off the coast of Crimea when Russia fired on and seized 3 Ukrainian ships. Several Ukrainian sailors were injured and 24 were detained during the seizure. Today, Ukraine's parliament declared martial law in response to the attack.
The law will last 30 days starting on Wednesday and covers areas of eastern Ukraine and Crimea. This law will clamp down on peaceful protests, will enhance censorship, and gives the government the power to forcefully deport any foreigners who they think are working against the state. A British scholar is one of 785 prisoners that the United Arab Emirates is set to release from prison. Matthew Hedges was sentenced to life in prison just last week on charges of spying for British intelligence. His sentence hearing lasted 5 minutes.
Hedges says authorities forced him to sign an agreement in Arabic, which he neither reads nor speaks. UAE officials, however, say Hedges can leave the country as soon as they finish processing his release forms. More than 40,000 passengers are unable to fly out of Argentina, and that's because at the country's largest airline, all their employees are currently on strike. Aerolíneas Argentinas employees are protesting the introduction of a new low-cost airline in the country and demanding better pay.
The strike forced the airline to cancel more than 300 flights on Monday alone. Now, this comes ahead of the G20 summit, where the city is expecting over 8,000 visitors, many of whom will be flying into the country. Coming up next, Riley Burg is in studio with your full weather forecast. Find out if the snow is making a comeback for the rest of the week.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
And welcome back to Citrus TV News. An official weather alert has been issued throughout upstate New York for the approaching snowstorm. Now, western New York is expected to get a total of 18 inches following the storm. Central New York is expected to get anywhere from 6 to 12 inches. And right here in Syracuse, we are going to be expecting about 8 inches over the course of the storm. Now, the area is expecting about there's a 30% chance that Syracuse will accumulate anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, about a 25% chance of getting anywhere from 8 to 12 inches. So a pretty high chance we're going to see right around those 8 inches. And just to break it down for you at what we're looking at, now tonight we're going to see anywhere from about 0 to 1 inches, and then moving into tomorrow, we're going to see about 1 to 2 inches during the day, then 1 to 3 inches during the night. Wednesday, again, we're going to see that 1 to 3 inches during the day, and then moving into the night, we're going to see it start to taper off, going from about 0 to 1 inches during the night, and then again, tapering off into Thursday, just a couple of patchy snows throughout there. And if you're not happy with this weather report and all the snow coming our way, maybe you're dreaming of Christmas somewhere that's much warmer than here, I have good news for you. The sun will shine, and following the storm, it will be here. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you when in my 5-day forecast.
Oh boy, I'm excited for that sunshine rally. Coming up, the Syracuse football team wrapped up its regular season on Saturday against Boston College, and one senior had a career day. Full highlights and Dino Baber's reaction when we come back.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver. The one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing. And it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Jonah Karp. Entering Saturday's game against Boston College, the Syracuse football team really had nothing left to prove. The Orange already clinched their first bowl game in 5 years. They were ranked for the first time in 17 years. Perfect home record for just the 4th time in program history. It's been a pretty remarkable season for Syracuse, but Dino Baber's squad was actually coming off its worst loss of the season to Notre Dame. So with one regular season game left, SU looked to finish on a high note against the Eagles. It was about 35,000 in attendance down at Chestnut Hill. The big storyline going into the game was Eric Dungey going to be healthy enough. He had a bit of a scare against Notre Dame. He grabbed his lower back while the back looking fine on that first deep ball down to Sean Riley, reeling it in 75 yards out. Syracuse knotting up the ball game at 7 at that point, and then right before halftime, Eric Dungey getting the job done on the ground as well. 18 yards scored. That was actually his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game to that point. SU led by 2 touchdowns at the break, but Boston College in the beginning of the second half was starting to make it close. Syracuse led by just 1 touchdown, 28-21 after that strike to bend lines. Anthony Brown getting a little greedy, though, in that 3rd quarter. Trill Williams coming up with a big interception, and Eric Dungey was not going to not capitalize, right? Jamal Custis reeling it in the back of the end zone, 22-yard touchdown pass to him. Syracuse at that point up by 2 touchdowns once again. Icing on the cake came in the 4th quarter. Taj Harris reeling in the 2-yard strike. 42-21, Syracuse took the victory against Boston College. Dungey actually went from possibly not playing to possibly having the best season or the best game of his Syracuse career. SU fans were holding their breath against the Fighting Irish, and so was Dino Babers.
And he did something that looked really, really natural, like he wasn't thinking about his back. And I went over to him and I said, "That, is your back bothering you? It didn't look like your back bothered you right there." And he says, "I'm feeling better, I'm feeling better." And the minute he said that, all the hair stood up on my arm. I mean, literally, he was looking at it, he started laughing. "Coach, look at your hair." All the hair started standing up on my arm because I knew right then we had a chance to win.
Eric Dungey had a career-high 6 touchdowns in that game. He has 32 touchdowns this season, which is a single-season record for Syracuse. Donovan McNabb held the record with 30. While Syracuse football is almost over, a sport that wrapped up a month ago is back in the news. Last week, the Yankees made the first big splash of the baseball offseason, trading for lefty ace James Paxton. The Bombers sent a few prospects to the Mariners in return, and perhaps the New York-Seattle trade door isn't closed just yet. The Mariners are reportedly shopping second baseman and former Yankee Robinson Cano. So, who did Seattle call? The Yankees and the Mets. Cano is owed $120 million over the next 5 seasons. He's an 8-time All-Star. He played his first 9 seasons in pinstripes, and he's already 36 years old. And in hockey, both the Rangers and the Islanders are in action tonight. The Blue Shirts have dropped their last 2, but that's actually their first losing streak since late October. They take on the Senators tonight. Meanwhile, the Islanders host the defending champion Washington Capitals tonight. All eyes are going to be on the Isles head coach Barry Trotz. He was lifting the Stanley Cup trophy back in June, and he's coaching against his former team for the first time since signing with New York. Both games get going at 7 o'clock. And finally, back to football and professional football. Monday Night Football, a big AFC South matchup tonight. The Titans and the Texans. Houston dropped its first 3 games of the season, including losing to Tennessee 20-17 back in Week 2. Since that 3-game skid to begin the season, the Texans have won their last 7 games, and Houston currently sits atop the division standings. An 8th straight win would be a new franchise record, guys.
Well, Jonah, a pretty remarkable turnaround in the 3 years that Dino Babers has been here. Plenty of accolades will be showered on him. How would you summarize his 3rd year, almost an oracle in the way that he's been able to predict their success?
It's so hard to put it into words this year. They won 9 games, first time since 2001 they've won 9 games. Certainly not what anyone expected going into the season. Yeah, a little bit of an easier schedule this season than they had last year. The previous 2 years, 4-8, 4-8. It looks like they were taking baby steps. Took down Virginia Tech a couple years ago when they were 17th in the country. Right. Obviously took down Clemson last year, which was huge, but then didn't win a single game after that. Those baby steps led to just an explosion this year. And, I mean, who would have anticipated the season this year?
Anybody that fans can look forward to next season to check out on the Orange football team?
The big player to watch, Tommy DeVito. Right. He was Eric Dungey's backup all season, filled in for Eric Dungey when Dungey got hurt against Notre Dame, and early on in the season actually won the game against UNC. Tommy DeVito, he's been nicknamed the Golden Boy. He's definitely the player to watch.
Very talented. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Jonah. Really appreciate it.
All right, and we'll be right back after a short break.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, welcome back to Citrus TV News. We're going to welcome you in Riley Burg, our weather anchor, for a quick preview of this week's weather. What do we got for us?
Yes, like I said, we got that huge snowstorm coming in starting tonight, going through Thursday, and then actually it's going to die off coming to Friday. We're going to just see some clouds, but then Saturday we're going to see sun. Yay!
Awesome.
So there is a little sun in your future forecast.
All right, really appreciate it. Moving on, it's Cyber Monday today, Elijah, and you know me, I'm all about avoiding the rush of Black Friday to shop for presents. I'm really excited to see what's going on this Cyber Monday and how we can get some deals. So Amber McElrath is here to kind of tell us some of the more interesting deals and shopping things that's going to save us a buck this time around.
All right, Amber, take it away.
Yeah, guys, it's holiday season, so everyone's trying to get all their presents, whether it's, you know, treating yourself or shopping for your friends and family. So Cyber Monday's a great day to do that. If you look at Amazon, which is one of the biggest streaming services, they actually thought Cyber Monday wasn't enough. So they are having Cyber Monday deals all week, including kind of unconventional gifts. There's a great deal for pet lovers, like the Furbo dog camera, which actually allows you to see your pet and feed them treats virtually. So that's pretty cool. But if you're looking for a more conventional gift, we do have Walmart, which is allowing you to save $59 on a Nintendo Switch console, which is a pretty popular present this year. Or if you're feeling nostalgic, Walmart also has a deal on a full-size Pac-Man arcade game. It's nearly 4 feet tall, so it's pretty big, and you're saving about $50. But looking more locally, we also have deals here in Syracuse. Syracuse Athletics is offering a deal where you can get 1 football season ticket and a men's basketball game, women's basketball game, and a shirt for $126. In addition, Syracuse Stage is offering $35 tickets to 2 different shows. I hope this helped with your Cyber Monday shopping. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Amber. I'm going to get some people some gifts from that list.
Okay, we have some important business to discuss. Move over Matt Damon. The NASA InSight mission landed on Mars a few hours ago. The unmanned shuttle launched all the way back in May. It's just getting there now. This is the 8th time NASA has successfully landed on Mars.
Yeah, NASA broadcasted that landing on the NASDAQ stock market tower in Times Square. The InSight will study the interior of Mars and will teach researchers more about the planet's environment before NASA sends astronauts to the planet.
Okay, so we're coming back and we have assembled the entire crew to kind of discuss what the big implications. Elijah, I know that you were wondering if we'll ever see aliens again. What do you think?
Man. I gotta say, they found water not too long ago. I'm pretty hopeful on aliens. We can't be the only ones out here. I'm gonna put my bet on aliens, maybe in the next 10, 15 years.
My theory is that if they found us, they've probably avoided us, and for good reason. Jonah, do you have any ideas?
I happen to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't know. Maybe we're ugly to them. Maybe we're just stupid.
Ugly?
Yeah,
He's only talking about himself, I feel like, at this time. Riley, quick.
My thoughts, man, I hope they come find us. I want to meet a green, scary alien.
All right. That's all the time that we have for you tonight. Don't forget to follow us along at CitrusTV on Twitter and on Facebook for your round-the-clock news coverage. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Venzon.
And I'm Elijah Shama. Tune into an all-new episode of Talking Points with myself and Galat Malamed tonight at 7:30. Have a good night, Syracuse.